that saved me. I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was doing before I met you. I've been captivated by love that saves me. And this heart of mine was so far gone. You came crashing in with a love so strong. I never thought I would ever feel it, but your love gave me all that I needed. This heart of mine is so far gone. You came crashing in with a love so strong. I never thought I would ever feel it, but your love gave me all that I needed. I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was doing before I met you. I've been captivated by love that saved me, and I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was doing before I met you. I've been captivated by love that saved me. This heart of mine was so far gone. You came crashing in with a love so strong. I never thought I would ever feel it, but your love gave me all that I needed. Sing that again. This heart of mine was so far gone. You came crashing in with a love so strong. I never thought I would ever feel it, but your love gave me all that I needed. Now I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was doing before I met you. I've been captivated by love that saved me, and I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was doing before I met you. I've been captivated by love that saved me, and you saved me, you saved me. Now I will never leave your love. 'Cause you saved me, you saved me. Now I will never leave your love. You saved me, and you saved me, you saved me. Now I will never leave your love. Oh, you saved me, you saved me. Now I will never leave your love. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I'm in love. I cannot remember what I was.
What I got today, we're getting a saw here, and then I've got my axes over here. Just got this one bucking special, so I'm gonna take it today and test it in some red oak, Lord willing. I need to get this shed cleaned up good. I got Rick got me some stuff to clean that with. I'm gonna probably do a video on cleaning that with that stuff he got me. You know, I've got all kinds of stuff in here on the shelves and stuff because I do junk removal, and I get stuff that I keep quite a bit. I got a bunch of tools recently, and so a lot of this is junk removal, fine. So, but There's the head that we got from Ricky for Carter. Just double bit here. See, it's got a good footing profile. So we're planning to get a handle from Brad Ratonia, Adirondack, made of ash like mine here. It's all Adirondack. I even got the old one still that I got from him that I broke just because it's so beautiful. He did such a good job with that. And he made this one thicker though. So, but I did take a little bit off the shoulder here recently because the shoulder was a little bit too beefy and it was kind of getting caught some going through the wood. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to putting this FE6 to work. This is, I watched Bucking half this axe. So very interesting to actually be swinging it now. What an honor. And so thank you so much again, Bucking. If you see this, truly appreciate you. And Lord willing, I'll put this thing to work for years to come. There's Daniel's saw right there. I'm gonna get it ready and I'm going to the tree service. I got a junk removal job to do, but not until after 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the tree service, try to get a load of wood. I've got so many calls lately about wood. And so I'm about to head there now, Lord willing. All right, we're just sharpening this a little bit. Can you see that tooth at all?
Yeah.
Try to get that tooth if you can, the top of it. You can see what's happening. This is the, when I go this way, pulling with my right hand and pushing with my left, used to be, I wasn't very comfortable at all with that, but now I actually almost feel more comfortable going this way than this way. When I used to sharpen, I would sharpen with one hand like this, and it would slip off and I would cut my knuckle. You can actually probably see, I cut my knuckles over the years sharpening them. But, and then I normally try to keep it right there, you know, to where I can get under the tooth like Bucking says, but sometimes I'll kind of do that just to take a little bit of the gullet out and then come back and start doing this. And it really does help with the pulling hand too. This technique, if you can learn to do it with both hands, it's really helpful. It has been to me anyways. And instead of just with one, it makes it a lot easier, a lot more control, a lot less of that flipping. There we go. Yeah. There it is. The Bucking Special. Yes, nice axe. All right, here we go to the wood yard again. I'm excited to put that axe to use and then this saw as well. So we're gonna go back to the same spot we went to the other day where we got that oak out of there. So that's where we're going right now. And it's a beautiful day today, so glad to have it. And get in here and try to get some of this oak and get a good load and then head home, Lord willing. Try to split some of it as well. All right, so here's what we got. There's one I left last time. I want to get that out of his way. I don't want to leave it a mess on him. I should have moved that last time. I don't know what I was thinking. And this stuff here. He took a good chunk out of here, but every bit of that is oak. So that's what we're after today. Now some of this you can tell is gonna be tough splitting like that and this. Some of that in there looks like it'd be pretty nice. I don't know why I'm holding my wallet in my hand. But anyways, so this is where we're at today. Look at that dog on its house over there. That's that dog I've been hearing. It's over there. Right there. Right there, it just jumped off. Some oak over here too, some big oak right there. Man, that's the kind of stuff you'd have to watch out because it'd kill you, literally. So, there's a lot of big oak in there though. So we're gonna focus today on this spot though. for now. There's some good red oak there. Big rounds of red oak. That 461 does great. It's a nice saw right there, powerful saw. There's some thick, dense wood right there. Yeah, so red oak is what we're after today. Got quite a bit of it there. And I think I'm gonna take care of that for now and then come back to it here in a little bit. All right, gonna start loading it up now. All right, so here we are at the tree service, and as you can see here, I'm using what I named special counsel. Me and Carter was throwing some names at me, and I ended up saying, how about special counsel? And that's the axe is what I'm talking about. I named it that because it's a bucking special, and it's a council tool FE6. And so I really love this axe. It's even more special to me just because it's a bucking special, you know. So it came from the man who I learned from, you know, how to hand split from. So that's what makes it so special to me. Any axe I would have got from him would be more special to me. So, and it did great with a lot of this wood, you know. It's a very sharp axe, and the handle I love as well, too. And I really like the finish on those council tool heads as well. I think right there on splitting maple, a lot of that behind me is red oak. That's mainly what I got. So today we went over there to buck up a load of wood and then load it. And I got to talk to the tree service owner again too. And one of the guys, I mentioned this later in the video, but the guy that I had met at the tire shop, he was there. Alfred is his name. And he was there, and the last time me and him got to talking, because he was asking me about that chainsaw that Daniel Adkins sent me, that MS-461 in the background there. And I told him about a friend from YouTube had sent it. And so I guess he told his boss that I had a YouTube channel, and his boss asked me today, the tree service owner, he said, were you recording YouTube videos back there? And I was kind of on the spot, and I was like, I didn't know if he'd like that or not, but I was honest with him. I said, yeah, I recorded a little bit, and he said, well, that's awesome. And so I talked to him for a while about it and everything and asked him how long he had been in tree work. And he said, I've actually been logging since I was 14 years old, he said. I'm not sure how old he is now. And he knew the other guy, too, the tree service guy that I used to get wood from. His name is Chris. And when I first started, I think my first or second year in business, my neighbor where we used to live in Powell County, Chris was his cousin, the tree service owner, Chris. And he said, hey, you know, my cousin's a tree service owner. You're doing firewood. I can introduce you to him. And he did, and I ended up getting a lot of good wood from Chris. I quit getting it after a while, though, just because a lot of the wood that they were calling me to come and get was just too big to mess with. I didn't have a saw back then big enough to cut it. I mean, some of it would have took a bar like that in the background there, a 32-inch bar. And back then, I just did not have it. When I started out, my first saw I ever had was a Stihl MS-170, which is a very little saw. And I just didn't know how to sharpen back then good at all. And, you know, that's very important to learn how to keep your saw sharp. And even now, I feel like I'm improving more at that. And a lot of that I owe to bucking, you know, and I kind of mentioned that later in the video. And maybe at the beginning when I was sharpening, I mentioned that as well. But this red oak here was nice. As you can see, it's so much different than white oak. If any wood, if you get knots, is tough. I think we all know that. Any wood, if you get knots, is tough, no matter the species of wood. But then when you get into straight grain wood, you know, they all kind of split different. Some much easier than others. And red oak is wonderful to split when it's straight grained. I truly love red oak. White oak can be great as well, but when white oak's seasoned, it's extremely tough, in my experience anyways. So a lot of this wood was great, and we were able to get a trailer load, and it really didn't take that many rounds of wood to fill the trailer up, just because these rounds that I got here were so big. Some of them I really probably shouldn't have been trying to move. I felt it in the back after I did, like that one that the saw's sitting on there. That thing is 250, 300 pounds probably, and I moved quite a few of those. And that saw is fantastic, that MS461. It's when they get in the big wood like that, a professional saw, they just keep moving, The RPMs keep moving, or they stay, they kind of hold themselves up. Whereas, something not as powerful bogs down a lot in that really big around wood, really thick wood, and especially that kind of wood, white oak or red oak or any kind of hardwood, really. Ash, I just learned this recently. I was talking about, the difference, how that oak was harder. Actually, ash is harder than red oak. A little harder as far as the Janka scale goes. It's actually a little harder than red oak. I did not know that. I just recently learned that. But white oak is harder, a little harder than ash. So I thought that's pretty interesting. I like to learn about the species. But as you can see here, these rounds are huge. Those were hard to move. And here we are kind of talking a little bit. And we were talking about how big the wood was. And now some of this was a little bit punky on the outside edge. And I kind of expected it to be because the last time I cut the really big stuff here, I have some shorts of it. It was like that on the outside, but the wood on the inside was solid. So that's why that one's actually a little bigger than I like to deal with, really. The one to my left there, the smaller one, right in front of my trailer gate, not the one behind me, but the one to the left there, that is about perfect size for me. You get a lot of wood out of those bigger rounds, but they're not, so big that you can't hardly handle them, or that you've got to rip them or anything like that. You can actually roll them around, and then quarter them or half them. But these right here are hard to even roll around, like the one I'm splitting there. They're so big. But what I was saying earlier, when I was talking to the tree service guy, I was kind of asking him how long he had been doing it, and he knew Chris, the guy that I used to get the wood from, and he said, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. He said, I literally just got off the phone with Chris. And so I may end up speaking with Chris in the future as well and getting wood from him as well, or telling them, hey, if you need a place to dump wood, you can dump it on our land, Feel free to bring it out here and dump it, because that's awesome. I sold a lot of ash from a tree service who found me online. They just seen that I was selling firewood online, and they gave me a call one day out of nowhere, and they said, are you needing wood? And I said, no, I've got plenty of wood. And they said, well, we've got a big ash tree that we took down, and we can bring it to you. And I said, well, if you can bring it to me, I'll definitely take it. And they brought me 2 big dump truck loads of that ash, and I've sowed quite a bit of that ash. Something about ash that I've kind of recently learned, because I'm new with ash, really, is that it burns actually pretty good, even green, from what I've researched anyways. I had a customer the other day. I've been delivering this customer for probably 5 years or so now, and I've been doing firewood now 7. This is my 7th year in firewood. And she is a fantastic customer. She's so kind-hearted. She's the one that gave us our swing set for the kids, and recently she gave me a bunch of pallet items. She asked me if I wanted them. I delivered firewood to them, and she had all these pallet items. They were like resale items or something like that, returns or something. And so I got a lot of that from her, and I've sold some of it already. There's some like electric chainsaws and stuff like that from Lowe's. But anyways, my point that I'm making is here recently, I sold her and her husband some ash. And now I wasn't positive, honestly, how well that ash was going to do. And I even told her that. I said, look, this is new wood to me. If you have any trouble burning that wood, let me know, and I'll bring you some more wood. And she ended up getting back to me probably about 3 weeks later, a month later, probably after she started actually burning it. And she said, hey, that wood is great. She said, what kind of wood is that? And I told her it's ash. And she said, well, we want more of that. She said it burns so hot. And I said, well, I'm very happy to hear that. And I said, I can definitely bring you some more of it. And I brought her a whole nother trailer load of it. So she actually bought 2 trailer loads. Now, the second trailer load I brought her, I was going to charge $300 for it. She said, can you stack it in my building like you did last time? She said,
I won't be there to help you, because the first time I did it, her and her, I think about 4 of her relatives were there, and they all helped. And they didn't have to do that. I never expected anybody to do that. And I told her, I said, yeah, me and Carter, that's no problem. Me and Carter can take care of it. And so she paid me through Venmo, ended up paying me, I think, $375 or something like that. And I was only asking $300. So that she's just a fantastic customer. Their customers like that are truly a blessing. Even customers that just have the personality like her, I'm not asking for the bonuses, you know. It's very kind of them to do that, but just that they have that sort of personality. She's always been a very sweethearted woman. So I love Firewood. I truly do. It's a wonderful service, you know. You're keeping people warm. She's told me that before. She said, thank you, you know, for keeping us warm. And so you're keeping people warm. It's an honest labor. It is very physical. Now, there are aspects of it physically that I think are very beneficial. And, of course, if you do things not in such a smart way, like work, you know, smarter, not harder, they say. If you're working kind of like I have a lot, really, and as, you know, I'm 33, I'll be 34 in February. I'll be 34 years old in February. So I really want to try to start taking it more serious on trying to work smarter, not harder. And lots of guys have warned me over that. I actually forgot my ear protectors here because I've been trying to wear those more. I plan to wear chaps in the future. Ricky actually sent me a pair of those. Very kind of Ricky. I truly appreciate it. Ricky sent me some stuff recently. Daniel Adkins did. My man named Rick has before. And then Buck and Billy Ray sent me that axe. He completely caught me off guard with that one. He just surprised me. He messaged me in one of my shorts here recently. He said, hey, have you checked your post office? I sent you something and it's saying it's there. Now, my post office will not deliver us stuff here. And so unless I check my mailbox, which I don't check it real often because a lot of my bills and stuff, you know, I pay online. So I don't check it like once a week or less, honestly. And there will be a slip in there if you know, something gets delivered to the post office that'll tell me, hey, come and pick this up, you know, because they won't deliver it here. So I'm glad Buckin mentioned that to me. I actually ended up going and getting it at the post office. But anyways, I'm about to start talking here in the video, so I'll let that play out. And I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all that sent me those things. That's so kind of you.
All right, we're leaving with a good trailer load of wood right now. And I've got a junk removal job to do today as well, so I need to get that whole trailer unloaded. It's so convenient with that being so close to home. And I used the, me and Carter thought of a name just now. Well, Carter was throwing some names at me for that new axe. And I still haven't named my dough bit, so I need to do that. But we thought of a good one for that FE6 from Buckin, the Buckin Special. And we're calling it Special Council. Because it's a council tool, but it's a Buckin Special. So, Special Council, I thought that was pretty funny. We're going to call it that, Special Council. And we got Sheriff Adler. I need to name the double bit. Those are the 3 ones that I'm really using right now because, you know, that Sheriff Adler is so good for splitting. And then that one right there does great too. Like I split some big red oak rounds in half with that thing just now. So it's a great axe. And it's just very comfortable to swing too. So I really like it. I truly appreciate Buck and Billy Ray sending that to me. He surprised me with that. I had no idea he was sending that axe. And I watched the video of him hafting that axe. I think when he did it, back when he did it. Soon after he posted it. And I watched him haft that axe. And I also seen Killinger swinging it. Because I like to watch people swing axes, you know. Yeah, so I do. I like to observe their axemanship and stuff like that. And so I do watch people hand split. And do firewood too, to an extent. More hand splitting for me, because like me and Daniel Adkins were talking on the phone the other day. We talked for over 2 hours. The guy that sent me the saw, and we were talking about how that we do firewood all the time, so we ain't really interested in watching it a whole lot. But there are certain channels that I love to watch. Like Buckin is one of them, you know, because it just so I kind of can relate to the way that he does things, you know, and to an extent, although he's far more professional. Of course, I'm not even professional. I'm just a firewood guy, so but I've learned so much from him too. And you know, he goes out in the bush a lot, or he has in a lot of his videos, and he does tree jobs as well, tree work as well. But I've watched him go out into the bush, you know, what they call the bush, we call the woods or the forest. And you go out and you buck and split and load wood, and that's how I started doing it, you know, my first year or so. I really enjoy that, and I love axemanship too. And so he's very professional at both. I mean, he's very professional. Buckin is a specialist. He's a professional, in other words, you know, very professional in everything they do. So I've learned a lot from him. Even my hand filing, you know, I use both hands. I didn't used to do that. I think I'll show that in this video. I'm still learning with that even, and I have improved even this year in that quite a bit. I'm actually comfortable with both sides now when it comes to filing a chainsaw with a round file. I'm comfortable from both sides, and that's because I've watched bucking, you know, so. But it's good hearing from each and every one of y'all. I'm so thankful for my life, for my wife and children, for all that God's provided us. We're heading home now with this load of wood, and we're going to unload it. And then shortly after, Lord willing, we're going to go do a junk removal job for a guy. So it'll be a pretty busy day today. And when I get back, if it isn't dark already, I'll plan, because it gets dark so early now, I'll plan to split some more of that wood. Because what we did was pretty much just quarter it just now. And we got some big red oak wood there. And it really didn't take a whole lot of those rounds to fill it up just because they're so big, you know, my trailer load. So anyways, I've got a lot of people right now that I need to be selling to, and then I've got that junk removal job to do. And anyways, we're heading here now, heading home now. We're just now getting home, and then we are going to, like I said, go do the junk removal job. But the axe did great, the saw did great. All in all, that was a good, productive trip right there, and that's how I like it to be. You know, if I'm going to go get wood, I want to get quite a bit of wood. So, and we did just that. Man, he had a nice truck. Oh, I talked to the owner again as well, and the other guy was telling him about my YouTube channel because he was asking me about that saw, and I told him a friend from YouTube sent it. And so that guy asked me just now, the tree service owner, he said he used to do logging from 14 years old and up, I guess with his dad. And now he's been doing tree service for a long time. And so he's very familiar in tree work. And we were talking about the saw, and he said, yeah, if you ever want to try the 500i, we've got a couple of them. And I said, well, I really appreciate that. So that's very kind of him. He came up and shook my hand. Very friendly, kind, you know, man with a smile on his face. And that's the kind of people I like to deal with. And so he's got a real good spirit to be around. So anyways, I'm getting a call right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here. We got a lot to do, but I truly appreciate you all.
I'm so very thankful for my life, for my wife and children, for the work that God provides for me. I've got so much to be thankful for. And I just wanted to say, if you're in a place where you feel hopeless or you feel like you're at a stuck point and you're not happy with life, there is a God that can give you peace. And all you've got to do is seek, and you shall find, the Bible says. So he wants to help us. The Bible says it's his good pleasure to bless us. So I would just like to encourage you, if you feel you need help, there is help there for you. I got to experience how real that help was, and how real that our God is when I was around 22 years old. And ever since then, you know, I've looked at life different, and I've seen a change that's been made in my life that could only come from God. I could never make that change on my own. Me and my wife used to even say a lot of the times, you know, we'll do better. And we never could. The Bible says that our righteousness is as filthy rags. So I'm so very thankful that we've got a God who will, if we're willing to cast all of our cares upon him, he will care for us. He can change us. He can make us into new creatures, you know. He can cause us to walk in the newness of life. So we've got a God like that. He can hear you wherever you are. He knows right where you are. He knows right where you've been. And it's his good pleasure to bless you. He wants you to have peace. He came that you would have life and have it more abundantly. So if you're in a place and you're seeking for answers, you know, and you're seeking for maybe peace and money, or peace and friendship, or peace in this, or peace in that, you're never going to find a peace in this world that compares to the peace of God that the Bible says surpasses all knowledge and understanding.